like they're in like exist or something.
Okay, but
I have to pause on the record for a moment.
I mean, we've got 8 minutes, so.
Yes, I have to pause on the record. See, it always tells you now.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Tells me too.
Yeah, tells everybody. But
So I can't just like tell you that I'm not going to share anything and then get you to take your clothes off or something.
Oh, well, I will, but it says it gives me the option to stay or leave when that notification comes up.
Oh.
Like in case I didn't hear the audio.
We should play the Clash song.
Dude.
Oh, I ain't no grass. I'm out of here. Put that on silent too.
That was a magical noise, though.
It's because there's a Pokemon Go notification.
Okay, I guess let's plow on in.
In the year 1999, they asked, "Are you there?"
I'm here, man. No, I'm not here, man. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? We talk to that dude.
Are you 3?
I'm 3. I do want to go with the. I think they's a cool pronoun. I want to be they, but I can't legitimately say that I should be called that.
You can if you want.
I don't want to. I like the concept though. That's one where I really do like the concept. That's cool. It's like I got people in here, and you need to enjoy all of them, I guess.
We are Legion.
Yeah, I guess Luke, the question for you is: Are you more of a Muppety man or a manly Muppet?
Well, in the UK, we regularly use Muppet to mean like idiot. So, like, are you Muppet? So I really don't know which answer is best for that question.
Oh yeah, that throws a whole wrinkle in the thing.
I guess I'm a Muppet of a man.
Oh, okay.
Same.
Yeah. Are you an idiot?
Oh, definitely. Grade A.
There we go. I don't know. I guess I'm manly Muppet seems about right for me. Probably because I move weird.
Yeah, you got a bit of Muppet energy sometimes.
God. Oh, hi. I'm Matt.
I'm Luke.
This is a Sci-Fi Sanctuary. On the other end's Andrew Shearer. Hello.
Hello.
I guess that's all the introduction you get at this point.
Interrupted me right before I was going to say that you also love having a hand up your ass.
How is that going to work? It's like you have to explain the joke to me now.
Because you're a Muppet.
Oh, okay, I got. Sorry, I should have gotten that because I was using the Cookie Monster yesterday with junior high kids. They're like, what the hell is this guy doing? I was just doing the normal questions, just with a Muppet on my hand.
I was playing with a Cookie Monster at the weekend.
All right.
I was in Village Vanguard with a girl, and we just both had the Cookie Monster.
Is it a tiny one or a big one?
It wasn't a full size one.
I showed you my full size Cookie Monster. Yeah. I know.
Instead of C is for cookie, it's A is for anus.
Yeah, A is for anal. That's
good enough for me.
Hey, if you're desperate, take what you can get. I think I brought my Cookie Monster to your place at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
Like something I mean,
yeah, you laugh and you learn.
Yeah. See, they tried to. My wife and my mother-in-law. They tried to throw away the Cookie Monster. I wouldn't have any of that shit.
No, I think that's bad luck in any culture.
Yeah. I had to save the Lotso bear. So you can't throw away Lotso. He'll come back and like stab you.
Kind of the whole plot of that film is you can't throw away Lotso.
Right. So this film, I feel like this is the first like. Okay, one thing, Muppets aren't big in the UK, right?
They're not big.
Oh, okay. Is it like an age thing?
Yeah, I think I'm just a little too young.
Yeah,
because I was in between. Like, I saw a little bit of the 90s Muppets, and then there was like the 2010s Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
But most of my youth was in the middle there.
Because the whole point of the 2010 or whatever it was that like only old people watch the Muppets.
Yeah, the gap between Muppets from Space and the Muppets was about like 10 or 12 years, I think.
Yeah, and they have like TV specials in there, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as theatrically, they missed like a whole generation.
Was Treasure Island before or after Space?
It was before.
Because that's the one I mostly remember from being a kid.
Is that
like Christmas Carol and Treasure Island?
Were both of those theatrical?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't go see this for some reason.
They did. They did 3 without Jim Henson, and then it was like nothing. There was 3 with him when he was, and then 3 without him, and then nothing for like 10 or 12 years.
Okay, maybe I did feel the sting from the no Jim Henson thing, but you know, I have a sci-fi sanctuary. I can't neglect Muppets from space.
No, that's how you know a franchise is pretty much out of ideas, unless it began in space.
Yeah,
It's always been in space. That's another thing.
right. Gonzo's always been spacey, I guess.
But it's from space, not in space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
remembered it as Muppets in Space until I watched it.
That's
the
because
other
there's
night.
pigs in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Space boobs in space.
Right, right.
Dumbest title ever.
Anyway, yeah, I actually the episode that just aired, I wondered if Star Trek Insurrection was like a geeky dumb date movie. This one, I don't know if it's better or worse for taking someone on a date, because I did that.
I think this is a better shout for a date movie than Star Trek Insurrection.
Okay.
There's a cute factor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, and you know, if you're age appropriate, you did like the Muppets pretty well. I think pretty much across the board. I mean, who doesn't like the Muppets other than those corporate bastards?
Again, I thought if you're age appropriate, you can take young girls to Muppet movies.
No, it's
our
safe to
video's
say that
going
Muppets
weird.
are.
Yeah, we have glitchy cam today. That's
Yeah,
weird.
I noticed that. I thought it was me.
No, I guess.
I got no idea what that is.
Okay, now it seems okay.
Fixed itself.
Yeah, well, I just poked it enough.
Sorry to the 3 people that do this on YouTube.
I watch them on YouTube. That's
Really?
actually that's the way I get it usually.
Okay, and then you miss your hip music. I assume if I ever watch, like, I do post the video, but I'm like, if I ever actually watched one, I'd stop posting them.
I don't think they're too bad.
No, because I'm a YouTube watcher, and so it's convenient for me. There's a few other podcasts on there, not just yours.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think most podcasts do post on YouTube, but just for me, the way I consume podcasts is when I'm out and about.
Yeah, I'm acknowledging someone is not going to be doing that way, so that's why it's on YouTube. You don't get the groovy music in that case, but maybe you don't want it.
Yeah.
So we have a cool theme song.
That's
Have you ever
not
seen a theme
true,
song?
man. I'm kind of like Cookie Monster. I take it where I can get it.
I'm a Cookie Monster. I take it where I can get it. That's fun. Okay.
Oh God.
Maybe I'll plot this out then. I should probably. Sorry, I was kind of doing my own thing there. Luke, was this first time?
It can't be.
Primavera-ves,
Like I
full
must have watched it on a
Primavera-ves.
VHS back in the day.
Okay.
But I didn't remember this one so well as the other two. So essentially, it was my first time. I actually watched this one Matt style.
Oh yeah.
I watched like 20 minutes with dinner and breakfast over the last few days because I've had other stuff on. I couldn't sit down and watch a film.
Have you seen the Henson ones?
What are the names of those ones?
Muppet Caper, Muppets Take Manhattan, and The Muppet Movie.
Oh, maybe I've seen Muppets Take Manhattan. That's familiar.
Okay. Let's watch the Muppet Movie too. I think, Andrew, I think you said this was your favorite Muppets.
Yeah, and I grew up on them because I'm old, and so I think this is the best one that they did. And some of it may be because I'm a Gonzo fan, like he's my favorite. And so it was cool for me to see the origin story, whereas a lot of people's problem with this is that they don't want to know. The whole thing of Gonzo is he's a whatever and you don't know what he is, and so it kind of took away some of the appeal to the character to have all of this background about him and stuff. But the humor in this one for me is just really what does it. I think just for some reason I think other Muppet movies have funnier moments. Like The Muppets from 2011 has my favorite all-time Muppet moment. But as far as the theatrical films are concerned, Muppets from Space really, I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, I guess I put on a pretty even keel with the first one. So, and then that the first one still had, I think it concerned the human characters just as much as it did the Muppets with those celebrity cameos, whereas this one I feel stronger plot wise and character wise. Yeah, I think I never actually watched the Christmas one or Treasure Island, mostly because I want to see Muppets in like the real world. I'm not so interested in seeing the Muppets like reenacting an existing story.
They're funny though.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm
They're
just
really
like,
funny.
I don't know.
They're really
I
funny.
want to see Kermit be Kermit, you know? something like that.
Oh, sure, yeah. And it's just you've stuck them into an old story, basically, but some solid jokes, I would say. Worth watching.
I guess that's why this one was like super like I want to go see it when it came out, because I was like, oh, it's a actual Muppet story and not just something else.
True, yeah. It was they were kind of back to the old style in terms of the setting. Yeah, they stood on their own and they were confident about that, and I think it was a bomb.
Okay, I will go ahead and plot wise this then. Here we go. Gonzo is feeling at a loss, living in his hedonistic, commie pinko Muppet commune. All of the other Muppets can identify as something, but Gonzo is just a whatever. But he's able to shift his melancholy to crazy as aliens begin communicating with him through his breakfast cereal, sandwich, and astral travel. Meanwhile, alphabet government agencies are beginning to catch wind of this interstellar communication, and disgraced Agent Singer, along with the perpetually upbeat Bear Rentro, tries to prove the existence of aliens. After appearing on Miss Piggy's aggressively hijacked new UFO TV show, Gonzo and his roommate Rizzo the Rat are captured by Singer, who spirits them away to a secret government installation. Gonzo will have his brains sucked out, while despite all of Rizzo's rage, he is still just a rat in a cage. Fortunately, the Muppet team of Kermit, Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and Pepe the King Prawn break the duo out of the installation before the real horrors ensue. Since Gonzo's sandwich told him to meet the aliens at Cape Doom, the Muppets head down there. It's a poorly held secret, though, as all the UFO geeks, including Dawson's friends, make their way down as well. The aliens are a touch late, but offer a spankadelic, funktacular party to the amazed crowd. Singer tries to interrupt this party, but does such a piss-poor job that the Gonzoriffic aliens make him their new ambassador. Gonzo is finally given the chance to cavort around the galaxy with his people, but decides that his friends are his people in the end. The next day, Rentro the Bear probably heads for the office as if nothing has happened. Okay, there we go.
Right at the start, you've got Gonzo's like dream about Noah, but I didn't know it was a dream. So I thought the film was going to suggest that Gonzo's like 4,000 years old.
Like
Gonzo's just been waiting all this time.
Gonzo's part of the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
But I was like, interesting. Yeah, another F. Murray Abraham appearance, tying it in with Insurrection again there. But we did know the movie a few months ago, and you don't want to be on that boat. That boat was a suck.
That in the theater though, that movie was amazing. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know. I'm not a religious person. I was just like, cool movie.
Yeah. We did that one anyway. But I don't know, with actors, do we start with all the ridiculous cameos, most of which have dated horribly?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way with all Muppet movies, though.
Yeah, Ray Liotta gets a big pass, I guess, for it being Goodfellas. He's best known for, right? So.
Yeah, but Andie MacDowell, though, I mean, she was pretty much known for serious roles, for drama. I mean, she was in Sex, Lies, and Videotape, so.
My first major girlfriend hated Andie MacDowell with a passion. Her reasoning being that apparently Andie MacDowell acted like she was famous even though she was only in one movie.
Well, she'd been in a movie.
But she was like, she's only in Four Weddings and a Funeral, and she's in all these hair commercials. Like I'm like, every time I point out another movie she was in, she'd be like, yeah, that's why I hate that movie.
That's great.
Every time I add another movie, your point makes less sense. She's been in movies. She's in Groundhog's Day.
Did she like Four Weddings and a Funeral?
I don't think she particularly liked it, but she just hated Andie MacDowell.
I would just wonder if she hated the movie so hard that she by association hated all the other ones.
No, it went the other way. She started to hate other movies because Andie MacDowell was in them. Okay. And apparently Andie MacDowell was full of herself.
So she wasn't in a Muppet space then?
I guess not. I don't think we ever tried to watch Muppets in space together.
From.
No,
I guess the Dawson one is the most ridiculous dated cameo. I mean, both of those actors did other stuff, but it's just like, really?
No, that was weird. And they looked so young. I'm like, this had to have been right around the time of that show.
Well, it was. They mentioned that Dawson's not there because James Vanderbeek was too busy snorting lines of coke or something.
Who knows?
I don't know if he has drug problems, by the way. I'm just assuming that's why I wasn't there.
Yeah. This is the bit with Kate Holmes and the other lad.
Joshua Jackson, is it?
Josh Jackson.
Yeah. Were they in a famous TV show at this time?
Well, now for me, he's the fringe guy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking it's funny that in this, she's like, oh, these geeks who believe in aliens, I don't have time for that. Then she went and married Tom Cruise.
She didn't believe in the aliens. She just wanted to get her Thetan straight.
Thetans are dead aliens.
I thought it was the spirit of dead aliens.
Yeah.
Okay. So just for a second there, I was thinking like they were like actual like dead
just
alien
like
material.
It's just like building up like skin cells.
Building up in your cells. I don't know. Hey, I guess there's a certain church that has something to teach me. Won't mention which one that is. Yeah, seeing Kathy Griffith here is kind of entertaining. One, because I think I had to shepherd her around the University of Georgia right around this time. And what is her status now? Do people like her, dislike her? I don't remember after all the
I thought about that when I was rewatching the movie. I don't know if she was quote unquote canceled or not. I know one of them was one of the comedians, but I can't remember. Because Kathy Griffin had a TV show. I mean, she was kind of out there. So I have no clue.
I think it was like she was canceled. She's the only person canceled for going too far in the left direction.
Is that right?
Oh, if that's possible, I'm getting canceled.
Okay.
Is that even possible since it's the left that cancels everyone?
Also, because canceling doesn't exist. It's just a thing the right made up.
Yeah. But are you looking that up now?
I just wrote IMDb into Google without adding the film because I'm an idiot.
Oops. Okay. Yeah, it was like right after Trump was elected, and she did something anti-Trump, and it
was the picture she did of her holding his head. Like severed head, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and apparently his son saw it on TV and cried.
I mean, I was like, that's funny, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he also does that when he watches dog food commercials.
So, yeah, that was it. That was it. So, but she was like effectively like proto canceled, I think, at that time for a little bit of time. I feel like she's not now, because that's actually pretty funny.
It's, I mean, you don't advocate necessarily gruesome violence and murder, but yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
While we're doing that, I guess we should note. See, for me, that was the other thing. I couldn't bear hearing someone else do the voice of Kermit. I think for Treasure Island and Christmas Carol, which is maybe the another reason I never got into those. Oh,
Steve Whitmire. Yeah, well, he apparently got booted from it when they were bought by Disney at a certain point. Like he's not doing, like, I think Muppets Most Wanted was the last time he did Kermit, because apparently he was like a real jerk.
I remember people freaking out about Kermit sounding wrong when they did that Disney Plus show.
Yeah. And because I'm a fan of the ABC Muppets show, like the primetime one that wasn't for kids at all. Like I really liked that.
Was that Muppets Tonight?
No, Muppets Tonight.
That was 95. That was before. That's why Pepe and Clarence are here, because they were on Muppets.
Yeah. Pepe the King Prawn and Clarence were. That's a good thing to mention. They were brand new for Muppets Tonight, but that series only lasted a few months. Like it wasn't even a thing really. Okay. And then, but everybody loves Pepe. So this was pretty much everyone's introduction to that character, because nobody watched Muppets Tonight.
Yeah, Clarence is basically like an afterthought. So.
Clarence, yeah, he's Kevin like, Clash.
Yeah, he's okay.
The guy that did Elmo.
Yeah. Well, he's like 90s meme machine in this one.
Yeah, I guess so. He it was smart of them to actually have a black person do the kind of AAVE character or whatever you would call it. Like he's clearly supposed to be someone who's I don't know. Remember that thing where they're like, does that mean the Muppets were all white? It's when they introduced the black Sesame Street characters. Oh, okay. This was earlier this year. They're gonna have Sesame Street characters of color, something like that. And someone said, does that mean they were all of Big Bird and everybody was white?
Big Bird was yellow.
Yeah.
At least, that is a decent question.
You know what? We don't really know what he is under the feathers.
True. I mean, you pluck a chicken, they're kind of white.
Yeah, okay. But we don't know this about Big Bird. He's a special kind of bird. Someone's going to have to pluck
under the feathers. He's the late Carol Spinney.
Yeah, really. Actually, that would be correct.
Although on the cancelled celebrity cameos, you didn't mention Hulk Hogan.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's right, because he's racist, isn't he? Did they find that out?
He released a sex tape leaked where he drops the N-word multiple times.
Well, that's so horrifying. I forgot about that.
He did say he's a bad guy now in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that weird blonde and black beard. Oh God, it was weird. And he even had to say, "I'm a bad guy now, brother."
Right. And then he just
found out how true that was.
A smack talk rant. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So Luke, did you enjoy that moment, or did you and cringe in some sense of the word?
Hulk is a little before when I got into wrestling, so I don't really care.
Okay.
I was like Stone Cold and The Rock in wrestling. So he's always just been an old fat man to me.
Well, who's the one? There was Rob Schneider, Zeus Bigelow, and there was David Arquette, who I
he's the science guy.
Yeah.
I think he really got into the role.
He was. I think this is the first time I've seen him. I've always just known him as Courtney Cox Arquette's husband.
Oh, so you didn't see Scream?
Oh, I guess I did, but yeah, back in the day.
Saw a bit of him then.
Because it wasn't until the credits I recognized his name, and I was like, oh, so that's what he looks like.
Yeah, he's done a lot of really good, like Eight-Legged Freaks would be kind of science fiction adjacent, I think.
Yeah, I sort of checked that out, but I don't like spiders much.
Oh no, well that's not the good one to watch.
You almost miss it because Rancho the Bear has the same voice, but Ralph the dog is AWOL in this one.
Is that right?
I don't recall seeing him anywhere in this movie. Maybe it's in the background of a shot somewhere, but he definitely doesn't do anything.
There is the big old Muppet house, so he could be hiding in there.
Yeah, I was thinking it might have been in the Muppet house, but he has no role in this movie.
Yeah, because even the Electric Mayhem has like a walk-on, basically.
Yeah. And then Skeeter gets a little walk. I guess he's their manager, but because I always thought Skeeter. I guess
Scooter, you mean?
Scooter. Oh, I wrote Skeeter.
Yeah. Skeeter was his sister in the Muppet Babies.
Oh, she's the one I didn't want to be there. No one liked her. It's like who's this person doing here? She didn't belong here. What
Muppet Babies didn't actually exist.
What happened that whole to Skeeter? Series? Is she a ghost?
That was no. The Muppet Babies was a dream. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but the Muppets. Okay, can I do this? It's science fiction because it's really weird.
Go ahead.
In the Muppets Take Manhattan, this is the kind of shit I think about late at night. In the Muppets Take Manhattan, the first time we ever saw the Muppet Babies was in a fantasy in which Piggy was like, "I wish we'd known each other when we were little babies," and then it goes into a fantasy sequence where all the Muppet Babies or puppets are together. Cut to the series The Muppet Babies. They make a whole series where they are using their imaginations to go and do things, and there's imaginative play. But meanwhile, they themselves are an imagined thing by Miss Piggy.
So they're lost, disembodied souls, is what you're saying.
It's exactly what I'm saying.
So is that why I don't like Skeeter?
That's exactly why you don't like Skeeter.
Okay.
Skeeter like some sort of like Freddy Krueger entity then that's just like entered Miss Piggy's brain.
I would say that's exactly what
Skeeter's here to tell you to kill.
Yep.
I don't think that was Skeeter's voice, but okay. Scooter gets in my notes I actually did write Skeeter. That's a better name. Come on.
Is it that?
Hey boys, I'm Skeeter. Hey guys, I'm Scooter. What sounds better?
I mean, are you walking into a classroom full of children or like...
Hey kids, I'm Skeeter. You know why they call me that? Don't ask.
Skate.
So, and before we roll too far off of our dog bear, Frank Oz still is around for this. Is this the last time Frank Oz did a major film? I mean, for voicing the Muppets, I mean?
I don't know. I know he wasn't part of the newer ones, the Disney ones.
I think this was his maybe it's in that TV one for the Oz or whatever, but
yeah, I don't know.
But I'm pretty sure he's still.
I have all of those, but I forget what year the direct-to-video ones were.
He wants to be a director now. Ooh la la! Of course, he made good films too, so I guess we shouldn't
He did.
scorch him too much.
I don't know. Was year one good though? Oh no, that was
He made other movies, and
that
that was Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis.
And now you're is it too soon, man? Too soon?
He did
what to speak
still
ill of
does
year one?
the Yoda voice.
Oh, he did Yoda
Oh,
again.
good.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense.
He's a Muppet. Yoda's a Muppet.
Yeah. But he doesn't live in that Muppet house. So is the Muppet house just like a conceit in the film? Do the Muppets actually live together in a house like this, or is it just a veneer for the film that where the Muppets all go, like Kermit lives in his house that we see in the 2010 film, or is that like also like a veneer in the movie? Where do the Muppets actually live? In a closet, I guess.
So it does look like Muppets from Space was the last time he did Muppets, but he kept doing a lot of Sesame Street after that.
Oh, okay. Oh, Elmo and Grouchland. That's a good one.
Oh, I love Elmo and Grouchland. We could do this whole show about that one. I love that one.
I can make a show for that sometime. It's got Grouchland Sci-Fi, right?
Oh God, it's amazing, man. Vanessa Williams is the queen of garbage.
Just saw Matt and Andrew's Muppet House.
I think we've done that before, to be perfectly honest.
Totally. Yeah.
That wouldn't be a new concept.
No.
But yeah, okay. So yeah, this is Frank Oz's big send off. It's the last time you get Fozzie Bear for realsies. My dog was named Fozzie growing up.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Your film thing is called Gonzo. I made sure, of course,
not an accident.
Right.
Not an accident.
Okay. Luke, do you have a favorite Muppet here?
Yeah, I really liked Rancho the Bear.
Yeah. Because
Just
you're
like
a friend of bears.
I love bears, but then he's got that grumpy face, but he's always so nice. He was great.
That's why I had to, even though it's obviously wasn't there, I just had to add in my plot summary. Oh, and the next day Rancho just shows up at the office as if nothing's happened.
I like that in this world, like it's not like the Muppets are this group who live in this house and everyone else is just normal people. It's just a world where there are Muppets. So even at the evil alphabet agency, there's just a Muppet working there.
But they always turn out okay at the end, right?
Yeah, I don't think you get any evil
changes
Muppets.
Devious ways. Have we gotten a night?
Wait, isn't the Ricky Gervais one? There's an evil Kermit.
Oh yeah, but that's too much fun. They're like specifically evil, right?
Mm.
And even they, I think, have a shot at the end where it's like, hey, everything's cool now, because Muppets have to be cool in the end, right?
Okay.
Unless they're in the Dark Crystal. Do those count as Muppets?
I mean, that's the Muppets I was into as a kid. Is Dark Crystal and
Labyrinth.
Yeah.
I think,
when I think Jim Henson, I think that shit.
Well, that's what Jim Henson wanted you to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are like his realsies movies.
Mm.
What was it? Was Henson directed Crystal and Frank Oz did Labyrinth? Or the other way around? I think it was like one did one and one did the other.
I can't
remember.
Okay.
I just remember that the Labyrinth was like a collaboration with Monty Python, or at least Terry Jones. One of them was the writer.
Right.
So it's like got Muppet and Python humor in it.
And Goblin Cod piece. Can't forget the Goblin Cod.
Brian Froud.
that actually.
Yeah, no, the bear, Bobo is his name. The one that's in the suit. No,
he's Bobo in a different. I think he might have been Bobo in Muppets Tonight, but in this movie he's Rentro. Well,
I got to say that. I mean, he may be my favorite character in this too, because I love the way he's like, how'd that work out for you? Okay. I mean, he's just got that delivery. And there's one point where he's got his hand on Jeffrey Tambor's shoulder and he's eating a sandwich. But he's like covered in. Yeah, he's got, I don't know, marshmallow cream or something. Oh God, it's hilarious. He's often eating something. And so his voice is just this, mouth smacking. It's, I don't know, well done character wise. Very funny.
Right, like I said, it's good enough for you. It's like, well, Ralph the dog wasn't there, but he was enough. And Rentro's slightly funnier than Ralph anyway. So,
and I really love what they did with Piggy, because we haven't seen Miss Piggy like this probably since the Muppet Caper, where she's just like unabashedly violent to the point where that fight scene between her and Andy McDowell, at one point they turn Piggy. She does like some sort of a dive and you think the fight is over. Then she comes up, and they've got the eyes like these really, really pronounced like angry eyebrows on her. It's kind of great. And I also love when she chokes live on camera the first time she's got to do the broadcast. her mouth is just sort of hanging open there. That's just hilarious. Because I've seen people do that.
I think we haven't managed to do that on this here podcast.
I was thinking, have I done that?
Yeah. Welcome to Matt Lou's Sci-Fi Sanctuary. This is Matt. This is Matt. This is still Matt.
Yeah. You know, I tell you what, the closest I've had is when I've had a guest on my other podcast who's like quite big, and I've been too shy to press call and wanted them to call me, and then waited like 15 minutes.
Wow, I haven't even had that happen yet. Okay.
That was way back when I first started podcasting.
Whoa!
So just moving it because Matt keeps moving further and further off camera.
I feel like I'm in the relatively right space. Andrew knows how I just roll out of sofas given enough time.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. Yeah, the Statler Waldorf also had a few solid ribs in the beginning, because there was one where he said, "I wonder if there's life on other planets." He's like, "You don't have a life on this planet."
That's the news agency we need now, you know, because there's complaints about everything. You can complain about Fox, CNN, everyone. Just have the Statler and Waldorf news network where they just do the news. And
did you happen to see the Saturday Night Live clip of Keegan Michael Key beats the crap out of them? They're like bouncers at the Muppet studio.
I haven't seen that, but yeah.
Oh God, it's great. Yeah, they're bouncers at the Muppet studio. So like they're doing the regular thing. They start joking, and then the bouncers come out. Hey.
I do like Key and Peele, so I might like that one.
Okay. Yeah, there's a thing.
What do you guys think of? What do you think of the special effects in this? Because there's some like really solid spaceship stuff, I thought.
Yeah, I noticed because they have the digital egg, and then the egg's a little model, and then the spaceship was like, I'm pretty sure this is a model.
It looked like a model. It appeared to be photographed like a model.
Yeah, that's what I
thought.
thought.
After the CG egg, there's no way that the other spaceship was CG.
Yeah. I guess we get the really side-by-side comparison, so you can tell. I like the astral trip, of course.
Yeah, that bit was great.
Oh yeah, with the two fish who are obviously some sort of, I don't know about those voices. They were
a little offensive. Okay, you asked about the effects, not what did you think of the the presentation
the offensive
of the
voices.
space fish.
Well, Bill Beretta as King Pepe King Prawn. I mean, what is he supposed to be? I mean, that's clearly some sort of a. I mean, that's an area you don't want to step into with this stuff, you know.
Okay. What else do we have? We got the space fish. Oh, I still just, I don't know why, I just love this ending, the credit sequence. I mean, I know there's way more elaborate ones in other movies that should be cooler, but this one just really, I think I have it flashed in my head most days.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why that whole Muppet kaleidoscope thing really does it for me.
It's really rad. Well, I think, one thing we haven't talked about is the music that's in this movie. For some reason, the Muppets decided to do mostly like funk music in this for some reason. I mean, you got James Brown and you've got the Commodores. What am I missing here? There was a couple
Earth, Wind, Fire. Lots of Earth, Wind, Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Did I actually get some proper Clinton in here? Obviously, got the mothership landing and all that stuff. So that's enough Clinton if you need it. But
yeah, did maybe tear the roof off? I don't know. It could have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm almost embarrassed to say I think this movie is where I like actually started to like properly get into funk.
The Muppets got you into funk?
The Muppets might have gotten me into funk, yeah.
Oh man.
The name of Matt's autobiography, The Muppets Funked Me.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna argue with that. Yeah, because I mean we played in bands. I didn't play funky bass pre-Muppets from Space.
Yeah, no, you had some bounce to it.
Okay, I'd bounce, definitely. But it was just like because when I started listening to music, it was all grunge. Like if there's no distortion pedal and parental advisory, it's not worth listening to.
Oh gosh, yeah, no, I think that's one of the things. Now that we come to it, that's one of the things I also love about Muppets from Space, because it was music that I would actually still do listen to.
Yeah. Okay. Here's how dumb a kid I might have been. I had a real aversion. Now I program music all the time, but I had a real aversion to programmed music, like when I was in junior high school, right? Yeah. And I think I actually had it in my mind that most funk music was programmed. just because it's so tight, man. Like nobody plays that tight. That's machines, right?
No, dude.
Yeah.
No. Even disco was performed by human beings.
Oh, well, now I have an extensive collection of disco, man. But don't get me wrong, and funk. But I'm just saying the ignition key was actually maybe turned on by Muppets from Space.
Yeah, well, because Treasure Island was a musical, and it had the soundtrack and the songs, and then of course Muppets Christmas Carol, also musical, had its own songs, and so for them to come out with this thing, this is just really kind of stands out, amongst all that stuff to me for a lot of reasons. And it bombed, and they didn't make another Muppet movie in theaters for years.
And then that when they came back, that one was a musical again. At least
It was. It did. No, it did. It had a lot of music in it, but that was all thanks to Jason Segel, who was a Muppet fan who had enough Hollywood pull at the time to, get a new Muppet movie made. So he lived his dream. I think that was the mic drop for Jason Segel.
And the movies before this, which were musicals, were kind of not totally. I mean, they obviously are more like irreverent, but they're kind of like the Disney musical mode, kind of the Broadway sense of the word, where that 2010 one obviously went directly for the Muppet Show vibe.
Oh no, it was supposed to be a purist's Muppet movie, and it was a hit, surprisingly. I was sure it wasn't going to do anything. It was actually kind of like, did I dream this is happening?
Your favorite scene of that is Muppet Man?
Without question, the funniest Muppet moment ever committed to film, video, or otherwise is Muppet Man.
Yeah, because I was like, when I was watching this time, I put in my notes like, oh, this is no Muppet Man. When they're in the lab,
nothing is Muppet Man. Yeah, nothing is Muppet Man except Muppet Man.
Yeah, they were.
I love when any group of small characters gets in a giant coat and pretends to be one character. Like that always makes me laugh. Like to me, that's just the height of comedy for some reason. But when you have Fozzie as the head, that just shoots it into the comedy stratosphere.
With a fake mustache.
Oh God, everything about it, the arm movements, the leg, I was in the floor. I thought it was gonna be my final moments as a living, breathing entity on planet Earth.
So anyway, I was like slightly disappointed that this one is just, Pepe and Kermit heads in white lab coats, even though there are multiple Muppets there. But yeah, slightly disappointed.
It's solid, but you got to get at least 3 in there.
Are you a BoJack Horseman fan, Andrew?
I enjoy it, but I'm not.
Because that's got a great kids in a coat running gag.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen that. I was told about this. Yeah. I'm known for my affinity for the people in the coat thing. I have seen it. I enjoyed it. Well done, BoJack Horseman.
So is the main sort of philosophical bent of this movie to do insane shit with your friends?
Yeah, it's the blueprint. It's the blueprint of life.
Because I do like how Gonzo is like legitimately unhinged.
Yeah, the fact that he's right doesn't make it any less crazy.
Yeah, he definitely is going full on crazy. I mean, you don't mow at midnight. You play your guitar. You play guitar on the porch at midnight, but
it's also a dick move.
I know.
Not with headphones on.
It gets hot enough here to where midnight's the only bearable time to cut your grass.
Yeah, okay. I never cut grass no mo, which is good because I think I have an allergy. I hate the smell of freshly cut grass.
Wow. He gets electrocuted, the old shot out of a cannon, which you got to do that with Gonzo.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he did the thing with that. He built the jacuzzi, not because the aliens told him to, but because Pepe the King Khan told him to.
He was suggestible. That's the whole idea of mind control. You traumatize someone, and then you tell them what you want, so they got him at the right moment, just the right moment.
So how many sci-fi movie tributes were there in this? Because I got the mashed potatoes thing was from Close Encounters.
Yeah.
And then of course you've got the very blatant Independence Day thing with the even though it wasn't Andy Dick as the voice, you can tell this puppet is supposed to be Andy Dick. But there was that. But were there ones that I missed?
There was the huge Star Trek bit at the end where they even had the music.
Yeah.
I would argue, since it was 2 years earlier, that they were kind of referencing Contact when all the UFO junkies get together.
Yeah, they also have that on Independence Day too. They'll gather on the rooftops.
Yeah, but when they're just amassing, it really made me think of Contact. So, and this, you know, the astral trip is a bit like the contact thing. It's more subtle. You're just asking what are ones you might have missed. So I'm like, I felt some Contact seeping into this one.
God, I only saw Contact once, so I'm gonna have to take your word for it there. But
I've read it once and seen it once, but yeah, we'll eventually do it for this.
I've seen Contact a surprising number of times.
It sounds like the Contact expert.
Close Encounters, you know, getting the dude singer getting taken up, and in the ship itself, I mean, obviously it's just not the same thing, but that might be why it looks, they were trying to make it look super modelly, because that's how Close Encounters looks.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, it sounds like a small thing, but I'm sure if that's your job and you're in the effects room, you'd be thinking of that a little more specifically.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, there's a reason why those effects still look great, even though, you know, all these different advances have happened, because models look cool.
Should we not forget the Muppet effects themselves? I mean, that's the effects you don't notice because you forget that the Muppets are Muppets, right? Or, you know,
True.
You got Kermit riding the bicycle in the first Muppet movie. And I'm sitting here, see, at this point, they've got it down to so much of a science, you don't even notice when they're doing impressive stuff. There's one thing where Gonzo's tossing something between his hands or something. That's actually, that would be real difficult to do, but you don't notice because, it's just Gonzo just tossing something between his hands.
Yeah. Well, now, CG is part of what they do. I don't know if either of you saw the Happy Time Murders, but that is the best puppetry, bar none, that the Muppet people have ever done. Even though it's not a Muppet movie, Bill Beretta was very much all over the film, and Brian Henson was the director. I mean, it's filthy. The humor is filthy, but it's a solid movie. But the stuff that the puppets do in that, to your point, it's oftentimes a matter of a performer actually being in a green screen suit and people just doing things, and then they just erase that, or there's a wire somewhere and they just erase that. And so you get these incredible things with puppetry, but at least, you know, I think it's what Henson would have, because he always talked about computers and puppetry working together.
Oh, and I mean, that's why those 80s movies were so forward thinking. And, you know, he's using a little bit of digital, but it just.
Oh, God. Well, in Labyrinth, that owl, right, in the beginning.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think he would have been purist about that, but.
No.
But
I think it's the way to go.
But I'm guessing when they did this movie, they probably weren't doing so much CG with the actual puppetry.
Well, I mean, you have when they turn invisible and just the hands are there and stuff.
Oh, right.
That's using green screens and shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And there are various scenes where
green screens and feces.
Where they're walking and stuff. Presumably, there is there could be someone next to them in green screen holding it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's why BB-8 looks so cool, you know, because it's literally someone standing right beside it.
Was Fozzie right then? He washed his hands. That's important.
So funny.
His mom didn't give him bad advice.
Exceptions. Right? No exceptions.
No, just watching it 2021, I guess Fozzie's right.
Yeah.
He was always right. He was right about everything.
How long did it take him to dry those hands?
Well, at that point in time, he wouldn't have felt bad about using the air dryer.
Yeah, true.
We didn't hear it though, so I guess you have to assume he didn't. He might have just done a little sprinkle, you know?
Yeah.
You're not gonna want to drip dry.
Fully washed off the visibility.
Oh, right. So
he gave him a good old
to his wrists. Okay, that's not besmirch Fozzie Bear. He did a proper hand washing job. So, okay. Point. Yep. That's Sherlock Holmes level plot details, man.
Yep.
What about the director? Who directed this one? Because I know Brian did the two previous ones.
It was not Brian.
Okay.
Luke's doing his man in the chair role.
I'm still on Frank Oz, so I've got to scroll back.
No.
Man in the chair. Is that a Homecoming reference? Spider-Man.
Tim Hill was the director. Yeah, it was a Homecoming reference. That was making
nice. Tim Hill. Did he do just animated films purely after that, or was it his only live action? Because I think
he did the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, which were
barely counts.
Kind of a combination,
animation there.
But mostly I'm seeing animated stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Lots of SpongeBob.
No returns to the Muppet verse.
Oh, these are writer though. not necessarily director. Full filmography, director. He's only done 16 films as a director.
Okay. Well, I mean, it takes a while to.
Whoa, really?
With Grandpa? No way. SpongeBob, Grumpy Cats,
Hop, Alvin, Garfield. Yeah, a lot of live action characters of a cartoon hanging out with them.
Okay.
His movie after Muppets from Space is Cousin Skeeter.
You're kidding me.
He directed one episode of the TV series.
I never heard of that
all
TV
right.
series. I'm just going for those weird connections.
Yeah, it is about a little like Muppet that comes and lives with a family.
It's not Skeeter the Muppet, is it?
No,
Who doesn't exist.
it's just a little human
doesn't
looking
exist.
thing.
Skeeter is just
Very
a paw
important.
wraith.
Yeah. No, very important to note. Muppet Babies did not occur. None of that.
Non-canon.
Skeeter's to the real world as oranges are to the Godfather universe. You see Skeeter, it's all over.
Leave the gun, take the Skeeter.
Yeah. It's like, what is it, the ghost story? I think it's on the South Carolina coast, where if you see the gray man, the next hurricane. No, it's like if you see him, he's warning you of a hurricane. If you see him twice, you're going to die in that hurricane. I think the ghost story goes something like that.
It's the same thing with Skeeter.
Yeah, same thing with Skeeter. Yeah.
He does like the Mothman.
Yeah, that's why we only see Scooter in this one.
When
So
did
where
Muppet
does this-
Babies end? Was there like some great disaster at the end?
No,
of
it still
Did
goes.
it end on like September
it's on-
10th?
No, I think Muppet
Currently
Babies
still
is a straight up late 80s thing.
Well, no, they've got a whole new one that Disney Plus has.
Oh, I'm
and
talking
they've
about, I'm talking OG, man.
Oh, something terrible's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
happen soon then.
Well,
The
but there's
Muppet
no
Babies are back.
Skeeter. Get this. There's no Skeeter. There's
Oh, we're safe.
Summer the Blue Penguin.
Oh god, the new one looks horrible.
Oh, yeah, it is a bit terrifying. I'll stick with my
It's
own
for
one.
really little kids, like
Yeah,
very,
I know.
very
It's for
young
the
children.
actual babies. Okay.
Yeah,
Got
I always
some
found
dates on
Muppet
that.
Babies the
Wow,
80s
it went
show
for a
was
long
cool.
ass time.
84 to 91. That's longer than the Muppet Show was on the air.
Oh yeah. No, I always found that show kind of boring. I never really got into.
When I
Muppet
was
Babies.
like 6, I was into it. I think it came on like right before or after Pee-wee's Playhouse, right? So you'd watch both.
I was more of a Fraggle Rock person at that point.
I didn't have cable. You had to watch that one. What was it on? Nickelodeon, HBO, something like that?
It was HBO.
Yeah. Didn't have that. And so I probably saw episodes when I visited my aunt because she had HBO and I'd like hardcore it, right? Because that was my only HBO. So
Hardcore. That would have been the Spice Channel.
where you watch
I think
fuzzy
theirs
and
were-
staticky.
Yeah, I think theirs were edited too, by the way. But how does this stand as a science fiction movie, though? I wanted to know what you both think of that.
You have to go first.
I actually kind of like it's doing the contacted by aliens and meets the spaceship Close Encounters thing, but it does it really well. And I do like the shtick of he's been on Earth all along and didn't know he was an alien, which is a story you can only do in a Muppets world. Right? So it's kind of fun.
Or a Transformers world. Oh, they know they're aliens, so okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the fact that one of the cards is talking and can become a robot is kind of weird, right? Whereas in the Muppets world, Gonzo's a little weird, but he's only so weird. So
How obscene is his nose? It seems more obscene in this movie than usual.
That's
because they're like
there's that,
touching it and stuff.
yeah,
and flicking
twirling
it
it
around.
around. Because, but that's a Muppet thing where occasionally they will acknowledge the fact that they're puppets.
Mm.
You know, very rarely does this happen, but it definitely in the older movies they would stretch them out and all this weird stuff, and you go like, oh right, they're really they are puppets. Like in the movies, they're not supposed to be like living organisms.
Well, I feel like in the older Muppet stuff, he has more of kind of a gray blue nose straight up, and this one it has like kind of a weird fleshy color.
It's shaped somewhat like a finger.
Yeah. Exactly. So I just like, gee, Gonzo's nose does seem slightly more obscene in this one.
Yeah, especially when it's turned down and kind of straightened out a little bit. Yeah.
I guess I should explain that reference to Luke when we were kids. What was it? Oh, it was in the dictionary. It said we looked at, you're looking at the dirty word. So penis is like shaped somewhat like a finger. So we make this fake album cover with like where Andrew drew like this cedar mushroom like that, and he sketched it out. We made like this album cover for somewhat like a finger.
I'm amazed you haven't released that as one of your albums yet.
There's time.
Next time I have a batch of completely insane songs, maybe I will.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that title is not taken.
Hey, someone else has been in the dictionary looking up, dong words.
God, I hope they've changed it by now.
Is dong in the dictionary? Should be. Is that something they do at Oxford? This year, is it time to put dong into the dictionary?
Yeah, because there's always around the time the new dictionary comes out, there's a bunch of clickbait stories about some stupid word they've added this year.
It's time to put the dick in dictionary.
That's right. It's all just done to like stay relevant and stay on the in the public sphere or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think you need to update your dictionary every year. If you bought one, you're probably fine.
Is this the year Chillax shows up though, right?
I bet Chillax
that would be
already. Chillax has probably been there for like 10 years.
They should just put that one under laxatives.
Chillaxatives.
That's right. Take it when you know you're going to be occupado.
Wait, no. If you're going to be occupied, you don't want to take laxatives. You want the opposite.
I obviously haven't thought this through. Holy shit.
If you want a holy shit, come on, intention. If your intention is a holy shit, then laxatives are completely what you need. Shitting for Jesus.
Well, I'm waiting on whether or not there is a follow-up to Muppets Most Wanted, because that was like
I was going to ask, did they only do 2?
Yep, there was not a third. They went straight into the television series. Disney did not put up money for another Muppet movie. And I think the reason why The Muppets was a hit is because they hadn't been in the theaters for so long. Also, you had this star at the time. Jason Segel was like big in comedy, had been in a lot of hit comedies, and he was very much, the engine that drove that thing.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, but it was also parents who grew up on Muppets taking their children to Muppets. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the kids were not into it, but they did get the money. So when it came out from Muppets Most Wanted, they were like, Dad, I'm not going to that again. And they was like, oh, okay. But that's a hilarious movie. But yeah, there's been no talk that I know of a new Muppets movie. I mean, I think Happy Time Murders, which was also a bomb, but there was no way that was ever it's amazing that it got made in the first place. If I didn't mention it's filthy, that movie is filthy, but it's also really funny.
What was the stage one that was the same kind of gag?
This was Avenue Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is the future direction though, is because kids are not that into Muppets these days. It's making adult Muppet films. But those are people who are going to go see.
That's perfect, and that's why when Muppet purists were so upset about this the ABC series, which was made clearly for adults, it was like, well, why is this wrong? I mean, Muppets are for old people. Kids don't. If a kid's into the Muppets, their parents force them. Like, never showed them anything except the Muppets. That's the only kid that's into the Muppets, and so. Yeah, I agree, Luke, completely. That is what the direction that they should go in. I love that series, but let's put it this way. People that love the Muppets have them in a glass case of how they were when they were children. Yeah, so they don't want to see the Muppets be for adults, even though they kind of were in the beginning, I think.
And like you say, those people they want their kids to be into Muppets. And they're going to try and force the fact, even if it's not going to work.
Wasn't the Muppet pilot called like Sex and Violence?
Yes, it was. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I believe the entirety of that series was shot in London or somewhere.
I mean, it definitely was shot somewhere. Yeah,
London or somewhere.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Though somewhere.
Whatever. Where are you from? Somewhere.
Yeah, no.
Different places.
The producer was British, so it was definitely But no, I think they're in a weird spot because kids aren't into it and grown-ups don't want it to be anything but this super sappy thing, which Jim Henson never intended either. I mean, he didn't want it to be just a children's thing.
Having now done 9 of the Star Trek movies on this podcast, that's another one that kind of has the same issue, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like younger people aren't really so key. I mean, I think they have like an animated series coming out soon to try and see if they can rectify that. But in general, I mean, maybe that's why something like Star Trek or the Muppets is actually kind of better suited for TV, because you do get it, you know, on TV, you can present it the way that people like remember it more or less. Whereas movies, you know, you always need to like feature filmize it, you know, make it more epic or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's why, and I don't know anybody that agrees with this so far, but I believe Star Wars belongs on TV for that very reason. I thought The Mandalorian was great in its episodic form. Those little small chunks, they was serialized the way Star Wars, I felt, kind of is on screen. They're just all the serial stuck together, where you're like, actually, you're not really supposed to watch a serial for 2.5 hours.
I wouldn't have agreed with you until the last movie, and I was like, okay, yes, let's go TV.
I didn't hate it, and I'm not trying to get into that, but you compare them though, and I just really think it's kind of clear that, I don't know, the Mandalorian felt to me the spirit of Star Wars, and I wasn't interested in it at all until I watched one, and I was like, right?
Same here. It took me 6 months to get to that.
Yeah, I still haven't started it, but I've only heard good things. I just can't be bothered. But I'm sure once I start, I'll dig it.
I'm not a huge Star Wars person. I mean, I found that out the first time I tried to play Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. I am not as
I'm the
much of a fan
opposite. I've won a game of Star Wars Trivial Pursuit in one turn.
Wow. So, but that's my endorsement for that, in terms of, we're talking about things, you know, better suited perhaps for television. You know, Muppets began on television. I agree, that's probably where they should be. There's way more room for experimentation.
There's a what is the newer Star Wars show, the Bad Bunch or something?
Yeah, it's an animated clone of.
Oh, it's a Clone Wars style thing. I haven't seen I don't think I've seen a screenshot of that one. So
yeah, I've never been into. I wasn't a Clone Wars person, and I have not watched the Bad Batch.
I was very into the 2D Clone Wars.
It's got a huge fan base outside.
I'm sure the 3D one's good. It's just there's too much of it, and I can't be bothered.
I enjoyed the 3D one, but I did peter out after a while, and I didn't watch any of their shows they did after that. So yeah,
and I'll be there for like the Obi-Wan and all of this other stuff too.
I mean, I just love Ewan McGregor, so.
Yeah, oh God. My favorite Ewan McGregor, since we're talking about it, was called A Life Less Ordinary. For some reason, I just really, really loved that one. I don't know why, but I think he's really, really great. But I think, you know, this may be the kind of way that it may lie this way with Star Wars fans. There's so much Star Wars out there, you can really kind of pick and choose what Star Wars you enjoy. The Muppets likely are going to end up kind of the same way. It's what Muppets do you enjoy? Well, there's that Muppet property for you, or that series, or that film.
Well, especially now, it's like, what is Hollywood going to be in like 5 years from now? Because they've you know, they got Bane backed, you know, Batman style over the past year and a half or so. So it'll be interesting to see, because they're going to have to retool how they do things.
I think they're gonna, as quickly as possible, try and just go back to exactly how it was.
Yeah,
but I don't think we're gonna see huge.
Well, it was working for them. I mean, billions and billions of dollars. You know, the film industry is going to support that. As far as theaters go, I mean, AMC is going to probably go tits up, it looks like, and
but not their stock.
Yeah. So that, you know, theaters will always be now a place where people go see the spectacle. They're there for the big thing, or the date film. You know, it's one to go out to with your family or your girlfriend or whatever. But in terms of, you know, what will power it, they will hold on for dear life to the franchise.
Yes,
I mean, that's
what
it's going to be. Well, I already know a lot of people, and they say, oh, I go to the theater for Marvel and Star Wars.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I hear a lot.
They don't go for the Fast and Furious?
Oh, that one. Not the same people. See, that one has a reputation for being especially stupid, but it's no more or less stupid than Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah, no, when they begin to cross over, you know, when G.I. Joe and Transformers cross over, or, you know.
Fast and Furious and Transformers would be such a good crossover.
It's almost there without the robots.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
It's like, it almost seems unnecessary at this point.
Yeah, what I think honestly is the future of Hollywood and the future of the Muppets is that it's going to fold back on itself, and instead of celebrities having cameos in Muppet movies, Muppets will have cameos in their films.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I still have not made my big return to a theater, mostly just because there hasn't been anything to see.
Oh, I went to watch Nobody the other day. The Bob Odenkirk.
How many?
Thing.
Right, okay. Okay, why?
How many
why
F words in Nobody?
A few. I wasn't like counting or anything, but it definitely dropped.
Oh, you should.
No,
I always
Lebowski
try
count.
to count. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been back twice, and it was weird. However, I've been to the drive-in several times, and honestly, I prefer it at this point, except for when the screen blows down during Jurassic Park. It was a huge storm right when it begins raining in the film. It also began raining at the drive-in, and yeah, the screen just blew down.
Did you get a T-Rex?
Cool. There was like a model one that was there when you come in to get your picture made with it, so that was about as close as we got, unfortunately. But the projector did go straight to the woods that were behind the screen when the screen fell, and so I was like, ooh, that would have been a great time to have that T-Rex come out.
Yeah.
I went to a little dinosaur museum in the mountains the other day, and they had this cool animatronic theater with big puppet dinosaurs fighting. That was pretty dope.
Wow. What's the theater called?
I'm gonna look them up Dinosaur on YouTube. Center. You can see it on YouTube, and it's pretty fun.
That's not Chelsea.
No, Canna Dinosaur Center.
Oh, okay. Huh.
No, Chelsea is just a bunch of models in a park.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'm already a subscriber to the Sci-Fi Sanctuary, and so now I'm gonna also subscribe to theirs. It's you, them, and fail Army.
So you liked the film. I liked this film. Luke, did you like this film?
I enjoyed it. Because I don't have so much nostalgia for it, there was a little bit of me that was slightly bored sitting and watching a children's film. But it had nice gags, and I like seeing Muppets move around, so I did enjoy it.
Okay. Because I'm like, I guess I'm just thinking, does this movie hold up? Did it ever? It does for me, but is that because I'm weird? Maybe that's the point. This is a movie for weird people.
Well, it must be. I mean, it's number one, it's Muppets from space. So that kind of counts out some of the audience that would typically go to see the Muppets. I mean, at this point, they were looking, a generation had come up with Christmas Carol and Treasure Island. So where they were like, what in the hell is this? So they may not even have turned up. That's kind of what I think happened.
Just a few of us people are like, it's like pigs in space, right? Cool. But that's
no, the Muppet. I was there opening weekend, and I cried so much when Gonzo chose his friends instead of going to space. I just lost it,
I would so go to space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like they rock. You know what I mean? Like they look like they get down. So it would have been a tough choice.
Would you go to space as Tambor though? Jeffrey Tambor?
Absolutely not. I'd like that cape though. Great cape.
Oh yeah, Gonzo's helmet was.
As soon as the spaceship closes, they're just executing him, right?
Yeah. There's like, this guy's too much of an asshole to live, so
they're just gonna drop him out the airlock as soon as they get outside the atmosphere.
To serve Tambor as a cookbook.
So yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's probably what they were doing, because they're weird, right? They got their ceremonies, as they said.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is one of those films that there's a specific niche of people who just dig Muppets, and this film was great for them, and all these films are great for them. But is there a big, wider audience for this film or any Muppet film? I don't know.
Not now. No.
Was there in '99 even?
Is there like a quantum explosion from about the year 1980 that's like ultimate Muppetage, and if you go in either direction, it just kind of fades out?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's just it's David Bowie's crotch. It's just like a black hole.
Oh yes. I was gonna say I didn't get into. I mean, I'm really into Bowie, but I didn't get into his music and stuff until I was probably about like 18, because I was just still terrified of him from Labyrinth.
Yeah. Well, in terms of family entertainment, you look at like Muppets Take Manhattan, and then you're getting really close to the Disney Renaissance. And so that basically became the template then for children's entertainment. And Puppets had nothing to do with any of that. I mean, it was over. Because there was no Muppet movie for, let's see, the second half of the 80s, right? I mean, because Manhattan was what 84, 85, and then there was nothing till 1990 or 91.
Yeah, there's like a TV special or two, I think, but yeah, nothing
But
of particular.
that's fine. You know, I think they should be on TV. I love those specials, but as much as I love the movies, I am not dumb, and I know that they're just basically for old people. That's what it boils down to.
It's old people week here at the sanctuary.
But yeah, I'm waiting for Miss Piggy to show up in the next Saw movie. I mean, there's a lot of potential there.
Oh yeah, that was one for that 2010 or Muppets movie, the previews where they were doing all the trailers for like different movies. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did they didn't do Saw, but they came close. They did something pretty out there.
I don't know. It's on YouTube and I need to watch that because I've not seen it since it came out, but I remember that was just, I mean, the whole campaign was just brilliant. I mean, it really was. They did it right, but that was a once in a lifetime kind of thing. I think the lightning will never strike twice. We just are too, kids aren't even into the movies that much anymore, period.
That's true.
There's far too much out there for them now. So at one point in time, the Muppets were it for kids' entertainment. You know, when Matthew and I were kids, there was a fraction of the amount of things for kids to watch. And so
Muppets are not. When I was a kid, it wasn't like there was just a channel catering to me all the time. I had my little block after school and my little block Saturday morning. Other than that, there was no TV for kids.
No, we got all the 30-minute commercials for toys.
Oh yeah, mine were that too.
Right, but we still didn't get the toy. We didn't get the. Now you get any franchise you're into. There's stuff out there. Whereas I think I told you before, us guys, we had to take our GI Joes and like physically alter them into X-Men action figures because there were no X-Men action figures.
Oh no, there's so many comic book action figures at this point. It just makes me angry.
We just pick up one. Like, I guess we could turn this into sort of a Wolverine. He's got the claw thing, so we fix the hair, and yeah, that's pretty ingenious.
Because it's not like, it was because it's not like Marvel Comics and DC Comics didn't exist back then. You know, GI Joe. What was that? You can't. GI Joe's not even in the stores anymore.
Technically, GI Joe was a Marvel comic. So.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's actually true.
You could get Parachute Spider-Man. That was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. When I was growing up, what I couldn't find was Nintendo merchandise. And in my brain, it's like if I see a Mario, I've got to buy it, right? Because that's rare. Now I live in Japan. It's not fucking rare. So I've had to really struggle to stop myself buying everything I see.
Yeah, I knew that we had turned a corner when the 8-bit Jason from the Friday the 13th game was a thing you could buy.
Because I remember when I first came to Japan, you're like, do you think you could find Totoro stuff? I'm like, yeah. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I had no idea, man. I mean, you know, you explained it as being kind of like Mickey Mouse, and I was like, oh man, that's great. We're huge fans of that stuff.
I remember in the late 90s, we went out of our way to try and acquire a Parappa the Rapper toaster, which if we had lived in Japan at the time would have been easy.
Yeah, still the only video game I've ever won.
What about not the sequel? No, Jammer Lammy.
No, I couldn't do it, but you know, I now have Parappa for PlayStation, and I'm no good at it anymore.
Oh no!
Like, I get to a point where I'm like, I'm not having fun. Fuck this.
Yeah, that's how reflex games make me feel now. I think for the most part. But
my problem is I get to that point, but my mind is still like, I'm not letting the game win. So I just stubbornly bang my head against a boss until I beat it.
Yeah, see, whereas I'm more of the maximum overdrive camp, where I'm just like, we made you.
Did I show you that trailer?
You just recently showed me.
I was going around making people watch the Maximum Overdrive trailer, the one with Stephen King in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, he directed it. I mean, that was
right. I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Yeah. Oh God.
He's on all the cocaine.
Yeah. No, he's kind of always looked exactly like you would think a guy that writes that shit would look. Always.
Especially in that trailer with the Green Goblin like in low light behind him. I love that trailer. Oh yeah.
No, it's a sci-fi movie. I mean, a comet passes over the Earth and affects all mechanical or electricity or something like that.
Oh, it's certainly in for consideration at some point.
Yeah, maybe Halloween time.
Yeah. Final words on Muppets from Space, now that we're on 87 different topics, which of course is fine, but
yeah, I feel like
goes
I've set
first?
my pace.
okay.
Like, I like puppets. I think they're fun. I like the idea of, I always prefer something that's on the camera, even when if digital effects are done well, it's not as fun. And there was a great quote Jason Segel made when the 2011 one came out. That was, the great thing about Muppets is a kid can go and see it. Like, a kid can't go and meet a CGI character, but they could go and meet Kermit. And I think that's
remember
great.
that.
But unfortunately, it's just, I don't think it's what the kids are into these days. I don't think that appeals to them.
At
No,
least I know some
not
kids
about
into the Cookie Monster.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I think Sesame Street still kids are into it. That's very young kids.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of dollar in getting them to the theaters. So
Yeah.
No, and that was kind of always the idea that the children's thing they had their children's thing. So with the Muppets could be anything,
yeah.
you know, because it's Sesame Street, that's you're out, you know, we're like, okay, we're covered there. As far as Muppets from Space, it's still my favorite. And but now I firmly believe that the answers to all life's questions can be found in Muppets from Space.
Okay. I was afraid you were about to say television, but
No. More to the point, the answers to the question, "Are you three?" Which we believe was a spelling error.
No, it wasn't, man. It was a deep question.
It's just subtle dig at grown men watching Muppets. Like, what are you, 3?
Are you 3? Answer yes.
Why are you watching this shit? I think you have some sort of artistic project named after a Muppet.
Oh gosh, Gonzoriffic. Yeah, that's me. We're right now in post-production on Haunted Hotcakes, which will premiere on November the 12th, 2021 at Athens Cine Theater. In person, we'll be back in the cinema, so that's really, really cool.
Nice.
And you can find that at gonzoriffic.com, gonzoriffic.com. We're also on social medias, but if you go to gonzoriffic.com, it's now the portal for all of that crap.
Run it.
Right. Well, if you've enjoyed this podcast, you can find it on Twitter at MLSFS Please look us up on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. However you get down with podcasts, make sure you're giving us a 5-star rating and a review. Just search Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary. You can also support the podcast on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/podcastius and get in touch. Let us know what kind of thing would get you to subscribe. Do you want us to put out extra podcasts about Marvel movies? Do you want us to do some Twitch streams? Maybe me and Matt could play Halo or something. Hit us up. Let us know what would get you to give us your dollar bills, other than just hearing episodes a little bit early.
Which is currently the thing you get.
Yeah. Yeah. Just drop us $1 a month and you can hear episodes basically as soon as we're done editing them. Or I think in Matt's case, he just doesn't edit them. He just puts up the raw audio.
I just put up the raw audio. That's fun though.
Yeah, you might hear the offensive things that I get him to cut.
Pretty sure.
Have you considered covering like Flesh Gordon and some of like the X-rated sci-fi?
I said to Matt that I want to do a podcast where we just, in really, really dry terms, review pornography.
Okay. Just any old.
Just like utterly unhorny reviews of pornography would be really funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you watch enough of it, it becomes like, you're like, wow, this is like watching a turkey being prepared for Thanksgiving.
I remember a school friend complaining that he'd watched so much porn it wasn't horny anymore. When we were like 12.
It's bad to have hit that threshold.
I think what it was that we were only watching out of curiosity. He wasn't horny at all yet.
Oh, sure.
So like it had lost its appeal as a novelty, but I don't think he'd started, enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah. Still, you want to chip that kid and keep track of him as he ages.
Oh yeah, I think he's turned out pretty weird.
For that podcast, it's like, see, she's using the reverse rear admiral position, which we last saw in Jiggling Jugs 37. It's not the most common act performed by a woman, to be honest.
As you can see, it takes great work from the calves, and you can really see the definition there. This is true athleticism.
So yeah, there we go.
The use of the plexiglass table and camera angles underneath.
Now, an interesting fact, we did an interview a few weeks ago with the man who had to clean these tables after the filmings. And wow,
you're kidding me.
He had a few horror stories, you know.
Has that one out yet?
No, that's not real, Andrew. He's doing a bit.
Well, I've interviewed people like that. So just assumed you'd had.
I mean, if you get that guy on Oral Hygiene, please get me on.
Okay.
You get a bunch of porn producers and we just watch the porn and talk to them about it. I'm down for that.
I was a jizz lobber for 37 years in the state of Louisiana.
If you can find a cameraman who was accidentally shit on.
We were filming some swamp rat porn.
No, I had someone who one of their jobs was cleaning out the booths, the viewing booths at the X-rated video store.
Oof.
The aforementioned jizz lobber, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Is this how all Muppet podcasts should end?
Please leave
with
that
a
in
hand
there.
up the arse and it ends with a jizz lobber.
Yeah.